Hello my friends, it's Traci Penrod here today for Bella Boulevard. I am creating a page using a sketch from pagemaps.com. I love this sketch and I thought it would be fun to use with the My 65 or My Life 365 collection by Bella Boulevard. I'm also pulling out some papers from the 6x6 paper pad that is Bella Besties, and it's freehand graph and the dot patterns. I pulled out Gulf, and later I ended up pulling out a bell pepper color as well. So to start, I decided to use the My Life 365 papers, and this one, although I'm choosing the May paper because we are of course in the month of May, I did also choose this yellow sunshine pattern, which was from the August papers. This floral is from May, and it's called Beautiful Spring, and on the back is a really fun stripe. So I chose a portion of that floral, and I'm also going to use a strip of the stripe as well. I wanted to incorporate the Gulf paper in little bits and pieces as well as one larger accent piece. So to remind myself of that, I just punched out some squares, and I'm going to lay those aside and use them at some point on this layout. I'm using a white background that I'll mount everything on, and then to bring out the pretty pink in my granddaughter's dress, I decided to pull out a pink paper that I just love. It's actually from the Merry Mingle collection, and it's the B-sides of the Borders paper. I ended up cutting the pink paper down to a 10.5-inch square. The sketch that I'm using didn't have a double frame, but I chose to put a double frame on mine because I wanted some extra pops of color. And then my white base is going to be a 10.25-inch square. So I like the way those two colors look together, so I went ahead and I'm adhering my pink paper down. I think it's going to play nicely off the pictures and off of Riley's dress. And then I'm going to adhere the white cardstock right over that. A lot of times with very colorful photos and colorful papers, I love to use a white base to lay everything on because the pop colors just end up popping so much on the white paper. So back to the May paper called Beautiful Spring. I cut this strip from that, and again the back of that paper is this stripe. So I'm going to use both of those, and those go along with the sketch design. And then also along with the sketch design is the way I'm placing my photos. So I have a larger photo of the kids, and then I printed two 2x3s. And I think I'm going to want to end up matting those smaller photos, but I'm going to leave the larger one not matted. I went ahead and typed out my journaling, and I matted that on another piece of that floral Beautiful Spring paper. And then the square that I pulled from the 6x6 paper pad in Gulf, I'm just going to layer that back here to give a pop of color. I think it gives it a nice contrast along with the yellow and pink frames. I wanted to pull in some more yellow, so I did decide to mat those little 2x3 photos both on a larger yellow mat. And that piece is bell pepper from the 6x6 Bella Besties paper pad. Liking the way that looks, I'm just going to go ahead and start adhering everything down. I thought about possibly cutting notches into those pattern strips to make them look like banners, but ultimately I decided that I liked them just the way they were. So I went ahead and added those to the page, mimicking the sketch. I didn't like the way this piece was kind of at the same length or meeting up with the bottom of the blue, so I moved it down just a bit, and I like that a lot better. I thought about putting the May title at the bottom, but then I found a subtitle that I'll use and so I decided to put the May title up in the top corner. It's bright, it has so many fun colors in it, and I like the way it sits up by the colorful photo. What you'll see once you see the final design of my layout is that I ended up later after the video pulling that photo up just a bit and adding the embellishment that I put there a little higher as well. So if this looks a little low to you, I think so too, and I ended up changing that. I went back to these blue squares trying to figure out where I wanted another little pop of blue, and I decided to cut them at an angle and create some corner accents. I wish I had decided to do this before I adhered the pink paper to the yellow paper, because now it took me a minute to pull up the papers and without tearing them and add the corners, but I am glad that I did it because I like the way the little detail works. Okay, loving that so far, especially loving all the color. I decided to go ahead and pull in the fun part, which for me a lot of times is a few embellishments to enhance the project. And but I'm sort of a minimalist when it comes to that. I don't like a ton. I like my photos and my journaling to be the star of the show. But I did want to put in another little title down here, almost like a subtitle, said Making Memories. That is definitely what we were doing that day. And the beginning of this project, when I was pulling supplies, that adorable Bella Pop, and it's